What if everything about you was a lie, crafted by the very people who never knew you to begin with? What if the person you've became isn't who you were meant to be, but just a reaction to the way the world treated you? What if all this time, you've been living someone else's idea of who you should be? And what if I told you, you're not even close to who you really are? You've built this version of yourself out of survival, not truth. Every piece, every mask, every reaction, crafted to be acceptable, digestible, safe. You've become so good at playing the role that you forgot it was a role at all. The one who never asks for too much. The one who's always fine, even when they're bleeding on the inside. You've mistaken silence for strength, disconnection for peace. And now, when people look at you, they see the illusion, not the ache. You've confused being needed with being loved. You've learned to anticipate everyone's emotions but your own. You call it empathy, I call it erasure. You shrink yourself in conversations, you over-explain, you apologize for existing in spaces you were invited into, and every time you betray yourself, you tell yourself it's no big deal. But it is. Because piece by piece, you're disappearing, and no one notices because you taught them not to. You think you're strong because you keep it together. But strength isn't silence. Strength isn't numbness. Strength isn't pretending. Real strength is honesty. Real strength is saying I'm not okay and not flinching when the words fall out. But you've buried that part of you so deep you don't even know what your voice sounds like when it's telling the truth. You don't know what it feels like to exist without performing. You think you're self-aware, but you've only ever known yourself through the lens of survival. You were never taught how to just be. You were taught how to function, to keep the peace, to make yourself small in rooms that were never built to hold you. You learned how to read moods like weather reports, always adjusting, always shifting, never staying long enough to ask what you feel. You became adaptable, flexible, likable, everything but honest, and now you don't trust your own instincts. You second guess your own thoughts. You ask for permission just to exist. You've been calling that growth, but that's not growth, that's self-abandonment dressed in emotional maturity. You can't keep calling it being strong when it's really just you refusing to fall apart. You can't keep calling it being easy to love when you've made yourself so convenient, so low maintenance that nobody even bothers to check in. You've trained the world to think you don't need anything, and now you're wondering why you always feel unseen. Maybe it's not the world ignoring you, maybe it's you ignoring yourself. Because truthfully, you stopped listening a long time ago. You've spent years surviving by being everything for everyone, and yet you don't even know what you like anymore. What makes you feel alive, what makes your chest feel light. You chase validation, not joy. You chase attention, not alignment. And then you wonder why none of it ever lasts. Because it's not you. It's the version of you created to feel safe. And now, that version is choking the real you out of your own life. So I'll ask again, who are you when no one's watching? The first step is terrifying, I won't lie to you. Because to face yourself, to face the raw, unfiltered version of who you really are, means breaking apart the walls you've spent years building. It means letting go of the idea that you need to be perfect, that you need to have all the answers, that you need to be what everyone wants. But what if you stopped asking for permission to be yourself? What if, instead of being afraid of what you might lose, you started being excited about what you could gain? What if this moment right here, this realization, this spark of hope is the beginning of everything you've been waiting for? The truth is, the real you has been there the whole time. It wasn't lost, it wasn't broken, it just needed you to stop hiding, stop pretending, and start living. It doesn't matter how many times you've fallen off course or gotten lost in someone else's vision of who you should be. Every mistake, every misstep, every wrong turn, those aren't the things that define you. What defines you is your ability to choose to stand back up, to choose to look in the mirror and say, I'm ready for this, to choose the truth even when it feels uncomfortable, to choose the unknown even when the world is telling you to stay safe, You don't need to have it all figured out to start. You just need the courage to take the first step. And once you do, once you let go of all the versions of yourself that don't serve you anymore, the world opens up. It's as if the chains that held you back start to fall away, slowly at first, then faster, until you realize you've been free this whole time. You've always had the power to be who you were meant to be. You just had to choose it. And maybe, just maybe, this is the moment you've been waiting for. The moment you stop asking, "Who am I?" and start saying, "I am who I was always meant to be." The journey won't be easy, it won't be perfect, but it will be real. And in a world full of masks, real is the bravest thing you can be. So take that first step, because this is your time. Your story isn't over yet, it's just beginning. And from here, you can be whoever you choose to be.